the American dream right there. You know, beautiful story. But that ain't the way the world works.
You waltzing in here like you mean something. We're in the...
Carmine Falcone's dead.
If we don't protect what's ours, we just look weak.
Do you remember Carmine's daughter?
I mean to interrupt.
Sophia, I thought you was still at,
Arkham? No.
Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we'll be doing a review for The Penguin Episode 5, Homecoming. This was a very exciting episode. I think after what all the events from Episode 4, and we got pretty much the not only the background on Sophia, but also her making her move against her own family. That was very exciting stuff. But we were definitely left out in a lurch to see what was going to happen with Oz. What's his next move? What is this show? I mean, it is called The Penguin, so we needed to know what's next. And boy, oh boy, this episode has set up the battle lines so well for the rest of the series, really. It's going to be very exciting in the next few weeks. But let's talk about everything that happened in this episode. We're going to go into spoilers, so if you haven't seen the episode, make sure to go back and check it out. We kick things off with Oz telling Victor the same story that he told Albert about that Rex Calabresi guy while they're kind of getting rid of the Maserati, right? He's burning the car down. They got to kind of get away from all that. Like, just after the events of what happened with the Falcones and the Maronis, he's done with that. It also kind of feels like it's a little bit symbolic for a new start for the Penguin. Like, this is a new era, which I think he's not the only character that goes through that this episode, right? Victor was also kind of turned over a new leaf now that he's made his decision to stay. Oz goes to prison to visit Maroni to let him know that he went after the weak link. Now, we know that the weak link is presented as like one of the Maroni kids who's just doing dumb stuff online. So obviously Oz is pretty easy to find, pretty easy to plan out against. So we do see that Oz has assembled his own crew of loyal followers, but they're loyal to him because he pays them well. It really has nothing to do with family alliances or anything like that. But yeah, after that, we do see that Oz goes to visit both Sal and Nadia. And boy, both of them are so intimidating when he's talking to them, but he kind of stands his ground. I really like the look of Oz with the leather coat. It's very interesting, very distinct look, and something that we normally wouldn't see in the Penguin, in the character of the Penguin, right? We also catch up with some of the Falcone aftermath. We see the police showing up to the house, trying to figure out everything that was going on. We see the police chief, Book, who I believe is the same. I believe we saw this cop at the Batman. It's probably the same police chief from the movie. It makes sense that it's the same guy from the movie since it's only been a few days or a couple of weeks. But it looks like Sophia was setting Vidi kind of as the fall guy. We do see what happens to him the rest of the episode. Oz asks Victor for the upcoming battle to go take care of his mom. Pick her up, take her somewhere safe. And that's kind of where the episode will end. So we'll come back to that for sure. Oz also, earlier on, he bribes a guy at Arkham, one of the guards, for something. We end up finding out that the reason he bribed them is so that that guard would take out Salvatore Maroni. But, you can't take out Salvatore Maroni. Clancy Brown is not going down like that. So yeah, Oz is trading the sun for the mushrooms, but it is all a plan to kill both the sun and also Nadia. Send the message to so his plan was to take out pretty much the head Maronis all at once, but he missed one part, and his plan doesn't go perfectly because when he does start a fire in this warehouse, all the mushrooms get almost destroyed, all of them, because of the fire suppression system. He ends up killing Salvatore's kid and Nadia, but Maroni has escaped. We'll get to see him a little bit. Now we go into probably my favorite scene of the episode. Sophia she's regrouping, rebranding, new day, new me. Um, we find out, and this is something that I already knew from the comics. Her mom's name, her maiden name was Isabella Gigante, and she takes on that moniker now. So the Falcones are no more, and she mentions to everyone that's still around, because she had Johnny pick, make sure that everyone assembled for this. That's why she kept them alive from last episode. But yeah, she mentions that she will now be known as Sofia Gigante, which is interesting because obviously in the comics, Sophia is always drawn as a very statuesque woman. Like she's large. She has this really intimidating presence. And of course, gigante is a word for giant, right? The Italian word for giant. So it's pretty interesting that now she has that moniker. And although Kristen Milotti is not physically large, her presence on the screen has been so, or like just overwhelming and looming amongst everything. So I think thematically it all really works out. But I love that they included this detail from the show. I mean, in the show from the comics, it's really cool. So she has rebranded the family. She's taken on a new moniker. I did see throughout this. I saw a little Easter egg. We see a billboard from the prior campaign for the mayor, not the mayor that won, the other guy. And we see a little Riddler, question mark. So I was like, oh, that's nice. It's nice to be reminded that, oh yeah, this is all still following up after a few days of that, right? One thing I also really thought was a great choice was Sophia is now embracing her scars, right? At Arkham, she suffered a lot of damage and trauma that we saw last week, and she's kind of embracing that. She puts on this outfit that's it's pretty revealing as far as the, not so much her, like all of her, but like her shoulders are out and she has all these scars on her shoulders. And of course, we know that she scratches her neck because of the flashback she has to Arkham. So yeah, really interesting stuff. We see that Julian wants to join her along for whatever's going to happen next. I wonder if we will reveal the source of who was providing the mushrooms from Arkham. Maybe a figure like somebody newly appointed to run Arkham, like a Dr. Hugo Strange, somebody like that. I think that'd be interesting. But yeah, after that, we do see Sophia. She meets with Sal Maroni, and she proposes an alliance to take out Oz because I think what they have in common is that they both hate Oz. So that's really, really interesting. So now that there's this alliance against Oz, or maybe possible alliance, we don't know. We don't know how it will happen. Um, we see that Oz and Vic regroup at Crown Point. Now, when we go to Crown Point, which is where Vic used to live, that's where he goes to kind of make, maybe it's somewhere they wouldn't be looking for him, right? We do see that the character Squid that I think we saw in the first episode. Um, he sees that Vic is there. I think that's gonna come back to bite him in the butt, but we'll see. But as we're there, Oz finds a new base of operations. It is an underground tunnel where the trolley used to run. So there's all these, like, the tunnel system running throughout Gotham, and it's going to be very interesting to see what that's going to look like. Also, of course, being underground, very reminiscent of like other bases of operation that the Penguin has had in the comics, and then of course, more famously in Batman Returns. I thought that was a really nice touch because in Batman Returns, he set up his base under the zoo where he could get through the sewer system all over Gotham. So it's something very similar. So even though this version of the Penguin is very different from the Danny DeVito version, they choose a similar place, right? Of course, for different motives, but that's going to be really, really cool. And then, of course, the last thing, we see that Eve in this episode, we saw Eve, who is the Penguin's girlfriend. She is not super on board with everything that he's doing. So I just wrote down a note. Will Eve betray the Penguin to protect her girls? Is she the thing that the Maroni Gigante alliance are going to exploit to get to us? I think Sophia is aware of her and the girls because she was introduced to them like via the test night for the drug, right? So I think that's gonna be the way in, but we'll see. Uh, in the coming up for the next show, we do see that it looks like they're gonna fix up the place and the base of operations looks like it's gonna get up and running. We'll see how that plays out. And then at the end, I just really love playing, like just making note of the songs that are being used in the episodes. Reckless by St. Vincent is the closing song. And once again, very thematically strongly, like very related to everything that's going on, right? All the safeguards are off. All these characters are being very reckless as they prepare for the new upcoming battle. It is going to be a full-long gang war, and we'll see who comes out on top. Everything that's happened between them. So, if you enjoyed this episode of The Penguin, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, stay tuned because we have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.